Viking Central, Brett here with you, and as always, Austin. How we doing, Austin?
Oh, just fantastic.
You're
Basketball all day, and now we're
yeah,
talking about Vikings. What could be better?
hell yeah. You still got a perfect bracket, I'm guessing.
Far from, but
Yeah,
St. John's looked a little rough. That's my pick, so hopefully
yeah.
they turn it up here.
I'm rooting for St. John's. I think they got a little bit of a lead now, but it did start out a
Yeah.
little interesting. But I think I don't know, I had Louisville going to the Sweet 16, I think, and yeah, they
Ooh.
lost right off the bat. I thought they were seeded a little low for how they kind of been playing, but obviously not.
I also thought Creighton was seated a little low too, so I went
Yeah.
Creighton there. So yeah.
Yeah, honestly, I'm kind of rooting for Creighton now, and then I'm kind of rooting for Drake a little bit. Teams kind of in the region,
Yeah.
smaller mid-major teams. So yeah, I'm kind of rooting for those guys, but I'm also a Kansas Jayhawk fan, and you said you kind of were too a little bit,
Yeah.
and yeah, that was first time they've been eliminated in the first round since like 2006 or something like that, which is crazy. But yeah, fun football or not football, basketball day. We're gonna try to catch up on some of the Vikings news, more so yesterday than today. To be honest with you, there's a few little things today, but um, do want to talk about what we got going on here a little bit. Hopefully, this is right here. There we go. Um, in our previous live stream, I haven't tweeted this out or posted this out anywhere on social media, but next week is a $10 mock draft week. We have 2 or 3 lined up already next week. If you guys are interested, DM us. $10 to do a mock draft with us. Join us live and stream and lead us in a mock draft for the Vikings. Be the GM for the episode. All profits aren't going in our pockets. They're going to the JJ for the Kids Foundation. Just a great cause. JJ does a bunch of stuff working with local communities, local schools. So just a really cool thing he does over there, and we just want to help support that out as well. So $10 mock draft week. Again, we got a few guys signed up, but if anyone's interested, just shoot me a DM, and we will get you scheduled. So, and then before we do hop into the video, I do want to shout out 2 of our sponsors. So Stead Foods, you see them scrolling at the bottom there, and if you're on YouTube, I have the links in the description. Steadfoods.com /Viking Central. Use code VC10. Get 10% off. Local Minnesota company. They mostly do like chocolate bars and just really really cool organic chocolate bars. Again, they're Vikings fans and everything like that. We're also sponsored by That's Badass Wood Art. Want to pull this up here. Been working with Luis for a couple years now. Just amazing work. This is all custom made, and you can pretty much do anything. So go over to that'sbadasswoodart.com or to his Twitter page, and you'll find the link there. Use code VC15 for 15% off your order, and just support these local businesses and help support us. If you're on Twitter, thank you. If you're on YouTube, awesome. Subscribe to us over on YouTube at Viking Central. And you can find all of our live streams, especially on Twitter and on YouTube, sometimes over on Facebook as well. But let's hop into this thing. Austin, just kind of refresh everyone's minds. I want to get your thoughts on this as well and just kind of talk about what's been happening. So obviously the big news was JJ McCarthy getting a little bit of a confidence boost, a little bit of you're our quarterback until you prove that you're not our quarterback more than anything. Sounds like they do want to kind of see how his spring goes. But I don't know how big of a difference that's going to make. He's going to be wearing shorts all spring. Like, so how much can you actually see? I know his arm's going to be lively, and it sounds like he's been moving well, been running around the field and everything like that, doing on-field workouts and everything. So I don't know how much the next few months is going to tell us from like a physical and reading defenses standpoint and everything like that. But what do you think of the Vikings coming out and saying, "Hey, we've been rejecting trade offers, and we're not pursuing Aaron Rodgers right now. We're moving forward with JJ McCarthy."
I love it. You have to give the your young quarterback some confidence, and
Yeah,
like you said, lively arm. He's going to look good. He's putting the weight back on. Wolfson has him reported to be back to 205, 210. So
yeah,
hey, getting back in the playing shape, and by the time the season rolls around, he's going to be right around that 220 range, which is what he was at the combine. So
yeah.
I don't have any worries about JJ. I love that we're showing him a little confidence and letting him know that he's our guy. Because sometimes just a little confidence goes a long way, and especially with the quarterback position, which I feel like is all confidence. So I bring in like JJ, who is very mobile. He's coming off that knee injury. We bring in that offensive line.
Yep.
The sky's the limit here. I'm excited to see what's going to happen.
No doubt about it. No, I agree with you 100%. Just turned 22 years old, and they're handing the keys to the car to JJ McCarthy, and it is just a sign that they really do believe in him and they're confident in him. And I can't get over the fact that people they've been interested in all these quarterbacks. Why would they be interested in these quarterbacks if they truly think JJ McCarthy's the guy? Okay, maybe they were interested in Sam Darnold at their price point. Same thing with Kirk Cousins last year. They would have brought Kirk Cousins back, but it was going to be about half the price. Okay, they're going after Daniel Jones. Okay, if Daniel Jones absolutely felt that he had a chance to start for the Vikings next year, he would have signed with the Vikings. Trust me. If he felt like he was going to be the starter week 1 in 2025, because you're throwing in Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, TJ Hawkinson, and all those weapons, instead of Michael Pittman and Jonathan Taylor. I mean, they have some weapons, but it's nothing like Minnesota. And especially after being in the system for, a few months already, you think if he truly had a shot that he would have took an offer if he at all thought he was going to be the starter come week 1. And then the Aaron Rodgers thing. And I guarantee you, if the Vikings were serious about Aaron Rodgers would have flew to Minneapolis and signed on the dotted line the second they offered it. So I don't get everyone saying, oh, they've been super interested in these quarterbacks. I think they've been doing their due diligence, but they do that with every single position. And that's no different with the quarterback position. But yeah, I think it's time. And the teammates that have come out, Cam Bynum on GM, Good Morning Football this morning, Ryan Kelly, everyone just says JJ McCarthy. You can tell he has the it factor. He's fiery. He's wired the right way. So I think everyone's kind of seeing this, especially in the building and the players that he plays with. Just know that he's kind of ready for the moment, even if he is only 22 years old.
Yeah, like you were saying, JJ, all he's really doing is we were just kicking the tires on all these other quarterbacks. They just want to keep their options open because it's never a bad thing to burn a bridge. So I just think we had KOC was here with Kwesi, just looking over all the options, seeing what's best for our organization, and I think they always knew that the best chance was to go with JJ. Yep. And everyone within the locker room seems to think that too. He seems just to be a good locker room guy. Great first impressions on the new free agent offensive lineman, both of them. So I mean, you love to see that. He's already getting a rapport with his new center Ryan, and that's like we said, he has all the intangibles to hit that guy, and he's going to be him. I have no doubt in the world that JJ McCarthy is going to be a great quarterback. I love that we're going to give him the go around here, and he's going to be able to learn as he goes. I think that's an underrated step. He had the whole last season to sit out, see how it's done. He was able to watch film with Sam Darnold because they had that camera on Sam Darnold's helmet, so they were able to see it through his perspective. So he's already been sat through that process, kind of like Patrick Mahomes. He sat out the year behind Alex Smith. I'm excited to see where JJ McCarthy goes. I think the sky's the limit here.
No doubt.
And he's in a great situation. And we even have the draft to come up yet. He could even have a better situation. I just think that JJ is going to have a great season and he's going to have a great career here with the Vikings, hopefully. Fingers crossed.
Yep. Super pumped. And as we all should be, it's going to be exciting to see, finally see him healthy, finally get him seeing running with the ones a little bit, because he never really ran with the ones, and he's going to have every single opportunity to do that now. And if he runs away with it, that's going to be how it is for the next 10 to 15 years, like you said, fingers crossed. Free 3 says JJ to JJ. Paul Allen is going to use the heck out of that on Vikings Entertainment Network. But it's going to be a lot of fun. And one thing I noticed when I think it was during Ryan Kelly's press conference over Zoom, not the Tatum Everett thing he did with Will Fries, but they were talking about JJ McCarthy, and Ryan's like, I know he's physically ready and he's super confident, but he wants to learn as well. And he's like, that's really exciting part of it. He knows that he has the it factor, but at the same time, he's humble about it, and he always wants to learn. Like, he even sat in with like the defense like times last year because he wants to know how the defense thinks and how the defense works. But Ryan's like, he's always looking to learn, and Ryan's gonna. This is his 10th year, and Ryan's like, having a veteran center is gonna open up everything. 'Cause I usually run the pass game. I ran the run game in Indianapolis. I kind of just, ran the show a little bit. And he's like, especially in this first year or two, that's going to take a lot off of JJ's plate where he can just focus on being quarterback. But I'm also going to be able to teach him the ins and outs of the defense and how the offensive line works and how all the communication works and everything like that. So that also makes me just super pumped about the fact that the Vikings went out and got Ryan Kelly because he's seen it all. And he's just
and Ryan Kelly
smart.
also, he's seen a lot of great quarterbacks. So for him to be saying this about JJ McCarthy, it's a pretty big thing. He's seen Phillip Rivers, Matt Ryan, and all those guys, Flacco, even Nick Foles. So he's seen a lot of good quarterbacks there in Indianapolis. I think that kind of, and hopefully he's not going to see that here. I think he's going to see just JJ McCarthy, and I'm happy to see that. But for him to speak so highly of a quarterback when he's seen so many high-level quarterbacks in his career, it's kind of an exciting thing. I think that kind of is endearing and shows how that JJ McCarthy and everyone should be excited for him and be ready to welcome in a new era. We really haven't had this as Vikings fans since Christian Ponder, and we obviously know how that turned out. So we're just excited for another chance at this. And we got it right this time. I truly do believe that.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you. Julian Marker says, "Skol, JJ time, baby." Yes, sir. About time we get that report. I've been waiting for it. We've been waiting for it. And I honestly thought the news was kind of going to break. Like, I thought Aaron Rodgers was going to make a decision, or I thought maybe the Vikings would sign a QB2, and that would kind of put it to bed. But the Vikings themselves went out and just said, hey, we've been rejecting trade offers. We're going with JJ. We're not pursuing Aaron Rodgers. So I feel like they put that out there just shows that much more confidence in JJ. Because if Aaron goes signs with someone, or they sign a quarterback too, it indicates that they're confident in JJ, but they did not flat out say it. Yeah. And, knowing them kind of throwing that report out there just continues to just show that confidence in JJ. Slug 1024 says, crazy to believe Rossini believes Rodgers is going to be a Viking still. Yeah, she's dying on that hill. I'm annoyed by it, but at the same time, I kind of respect it because she's not moving her stance, which, hey, all the respect to her. I don't think it's going to happen, but I don't know. I think Rodgers more than anything is going to wait it out a little bit to see how it plays out. But if JJ shows out or has a good spring, I think, it's his job to, for sure, through especially this offseason. So.
Yeah, and it's kind of good clickbait too at the same time.
Yeah.
She's the only one reporting that Rodgers is going there, so that's what everyone's really going the stories to read, because everyone's looking, just kind of Googling Aaron Rodgers, kind of seeing what's going on in their story here by Rossini, and obviously that's the one they're going to click on, and they're going to see that, gets them all excited. But
no doubt.
Yeah, I think we've made it pretty clear as an organization that it looks like it's going to be JJ McCarthy's time.
No doubt. Free 3 says, what you guys think about all that cap money we still have? I could see another move being made. I don't know exactly what it is, but it's fun to speculate and everything like that. We've heard Sauce Gardner. We've heard obviously Aaron Rodgers, but I don't think that's for Rodgers.
Justin Herbert,
right? Yeah. And the Justin Herbert one's interesting because it would work for this year, but then your books, the rest of his contracts
screwed,
are just going to be clogged up, and you're going to have to do a lot of work on that. So that one's fun to talk about, and it would maybe work for this year, but down the line it would just be a mess more than anything. And they've worked so damn hard to clear the books from the Spielman regime. But I don't know. There's been like rumor. I don't know if I want to call them rumors, but like the talk about maybe like bringing in Kirk Cousins, like they'd pay part of his salary, and then like Atlanta would throw in, say, like a 3rd round pick for the Vikings to eat some of his cap money. And I don't know if maybe that's why they're saving it, because they do need draft capital, but I don't know if I believe that. There's been a couple instances like the Brock Osweiler who went to the Browns. I think they gave like a 2nd round pick for Houston to Houston, or Houston gave Cleveland a second round pick to eat some of the salary.
Yeah.
I don't know how likely that is. What do you think of that, Austin?
I mean, I really just think we're keeping open cap space just in case something opens up. I think we're just
Flexibility,
leaving
right?
the
More than
door
anything.
open for something.
Yeah.
I don't think there's really a plan in sight. I was a huge Kirk Cousins lover. I would love to see him back in purple, but I mean,
No.
do I think it's realistic? And I really don't think so. I don't
Right.
think we're gonna take on all that money just to receive a third round draft pick.
No.
Even maybe, but Kirk Cousins doesn't seem like the guy that wants to mentor a quarterback either. So I just don't think that's a realistic option at this point.
Yeah. No. I hear you. And free three, that's a great question. All we can do is speculate at this point. But more than anything, I think it is just that flexibility in case something does happen, or they have a need down the line or something. Because they've created that flexibility for themselves, and even to carry over into next year. I think we're like $9 million in the hole for 2026. So they can carry that over to next year if they need to. And just kind of still be in a good spot for next year, because say if JJ does, hit the ground running, and you can still build up the roster next year in free agency, which would be exciting as well. I don't know why this popped up. What the heck? There we go. So yeah, it's a great question though, a great point. Just don't have a solid answer for you at this point. But we know what they did with some of that salary cap is sign Rondale Moore, and we've been talking about this a little bit. He did go visit Chicago, the Jets, and the Titans, I think, and he kind of ran his ass back to Minnesota. I don't blame him one bit.
Yeah.
After that trio of visits after Minnesota. But what do you think of him in this offense? I think this is a little bit of an underrated signing, to be honest with you.
Oh, I think it's a great signing. He's super young still, 24 years old. He's coming in off that knee injury, but prior to that knee injury, he's shown a lot of promise. Not really as kind of like a superstar number one, but he was showing flashes of a lot of speed and someone we can use in different packages and kind of run specific plays for him. And then even on special teams, I think he can be an electrifying player too.
Yeah. And he's something that really Kevin O'Connell hasn't had in Minnesota, especially in this offense. I don't really want to call him like a gadget player, but that's kind of what he is. Because you've mentioned jet sweeps and screens or running out of the backfield. We've seen Kevin O'Connell run jet sweeps a handful of times. I mean, it's something that I think he wants to implement into this offense, and Rondale would be really good at that. But also having a young quarterback, you want to have a really solid screen game, and just like bubble screens or jailbreak screens or whatever they need to do to get him the football. That's a good way to get some chunk yardage, get your quarterback into a rhythm. And I think Rondale can really thrive in that role. And I think that's what they're kind of going to focus on him doing as well.
Yeah, and that's and stuff like that's even a good way to alleviate pressure. If you have a team that's blitzing quite a bit, you run a screen at them, it's going to make them think twice about kind of bringing in that extra pressure in the secondary. So just a player like this opens up the field a lot for like JJ McCarthy specifically, but then it could also help the run game, or even just helping out JJ McCarthy having a little more time to get open, or even Addison. So I love this. I love this signing. I think, like you said, underrating signing. It's not that sexy signing that we were talking about early in free agency, but it's that guy that's gonna help us out and contribute early on.
No doubt about it. And I think he is going to be an impact, especially if he really thrives in his role, and I think he will. But having a guy like that that's explosive, that's going to open up, like you said, it's going to open up for Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, because you've seen like Kevin O'Connell like do the fake bubble screens. Like if they're really respecting Rondale Moore on a bubble screen or a jailbreak, they're going to be able to fake those and just send the guys deep, and it's going to open up for deep shots down the field, which I think is very exciting. So yeah, Rondale Moore, he's probably going to be fighting for that wide receiver 3 spot. I could still see them kind of doing a share with Jalen Naylor as well.
Mm-hmm.
I probably don't expect Brandon Powell back at this point because their skill set's kind of similar. Rondale's more explosive, but they kind of are used in the same way a little bit. So yeah, Rondale, just another element to this offense that I think can make it really good this year. Now looking forward to next year's draft with the comp pick game, it sounds like we're probably going to have a 3rd and 4th round comp. They were talking a fifth, but Cam Robinson signed with the Texans. Now
Yeah.
that would have comped a 5th round pick, but I think it offsets or something like that. And then we're going to get a 4th for Daniel Jones. So I think for now it's a 3rd round comp and a 4th round comp. The third being, who was the third for? You probably have this more than I do. Cam Bynum, I believe.
Yeah, it was for Cam Bynum. Yeah.
Yep, and then the 4th for Daniel Jones. So I think we have like 9 or 10 draft picks at this point, heading into 2026, and we've talked about the possibility of trading Jordan Addison after the year. We could have a crap ton of draft capital next year, which is very exciting because you could even use capital to trade for a star player that maybe is looking for a new situation, everything like that. It's only going to add more flexibility next year. We've done an amazing job in free agency because we've had all this cap space, but we have 4 draft picks, and that's including a comp pick. Mm-hmm. So just next year wise, and the Cam Robinson signed for a one year $12 million or $14 million deal with the Texans, something in that area. Just looking forward to like next year's draft. What do you think of all that flexibility that we're going to have going into the draft next year, just to be able to, again, build up this roster a little bit? Because we do have some older players on the roster, so we're going to have to get some fresh young talent. And I think next year is going to be a very big opportunity to do that.
Well, it's like you said, it leaves us a lot of flexibility, which I love. Because in terms of the Vikings, we've never really had that, say, flexibility when it comes to cap, comes to the draft. It just gives us a lot of room to do what we want to do. And what I'm really excited about, if there's a player, like a top 10 player, like say, like just an example, let's say this year there's a player like Genty available in the top 10, and we have all these picks. We have the flexibility to trade up and go get a player like that. So I that's what I really like about this is there's going to be a breakout player in the NCAA next year. There's going to be a top 10 pick, and maybe he fills our need. Then we can just trade up and go get him with all the draft picks that we already have. Or if that's not there, we have all these picks that one of them's got to land. If you have 9 picks, one of them's got to land. So I just love the situation that we put ourselves in here moving forward.
Yeah, and we know a hot topic on Twitter especially has been Sauce Gardner. So what if we don't trade for Sauce Gardner this year, but after this year he maybe asks for a trade or something like that? Like, you have all that capital if you want to send a 1st or a 2nd or whatever you want to New York, and you get an impact player like Sauce Gardner in. So yeah, like you said, that flexibility, if there's someone you're targeting in the draft or if there's someone targeting in the free agency, it's just creates a lot of interesting opportunities. And you got to give the credit to Kwesi, Kevin O'Connell, that front office. They've created this for the Vikings. All right, Slug's back on. Do you guys think we bring in another wide receiver 3? Because that's a big drop off at the wide receiver 2 position from Addison to Naylor Moore. It's kind of been the way the last 2 years. I mean, that's pretty much been the wide receiver group. Yeah. Now, I know they talked about they really want to look to improve the wide receiver 3 position. I don't know if more specifically like what they're looking for in wide receiver 3. Maybe they're looking at the upside. But I kind of see him more as a playmaker, not a guy that's going to go downfield and run pristine routes or anything like that. So maybe they still target a Tyler Lockett. But at this point, I think they might just run with Jefferson, Addison, Naylor, and Moore. Do you have an opinion on that at all, Austin?
Yeah, I fully agree with you. I think so too. And to bring up your drop off from the wide receiver 2 to the wide receiver 3, you're absolutely correct. But you have to think that Hawkinson's more of our third option than Naylor and Moore. And you look at that drop off, and I actually think they're pretty similar. Hawkinson could almost be the second option. So in terms of that, I'm not really too worried about our offense. And guys like Naylor and Moore, they're both versatile and athletic, and they serve their purpose. I'm not too worried about it. I don't think we go get someone else, but if we do, I do believe that it will be a veteran presence like Lockett. I think you are 100% correct there, but yeah, I'm not too worried about it.
Yeah, looking at Naylor and Moore, they're kind of smaller guys, and Lockett kind of fits that same. So maybe like a guy like Keenan Allen, we've talked about him before, just to give you a different skill set, a different body archetype, which could be another option. I think you get him pretty cheap right now too. But maybe if they recoup some draft capital, trade down in the first round and end up with 6 or 7 picks, maybe they take a mid-round pick, later round pick on a receiver that they kind of want to, develop a little bit for next year because Naylor's under contract. Moore just signed a 1-year contract. They're going to need some young talent in the room as well. I mean, they got Jefferson and Addison, but a little farther down the depth chart. So I think they're, again, they've created this where they don't have to reach for anyone. They don't have to, panic sign anyone. They can kind of just see how everything plays out and make decisions from there, which is really key to building a successful roster, and they've done a really good job so far. All right. We're going to start, again, keep talking about the draft a little bit because we're going to do a quick mock draft at the end of this as well. But do want to talk about, top 30 Vits, Justin Mello, Draft Network, mentioned both of these names. Derek Harmon, we've talked about him before. Everyone knows Derek Harmon right now if you're a Vikings fan, probably. Been a pretty hot name. Maybe not so much now that we kind of filled out that room a little bit, but he's really freaking good, and he'd be an impact guy. Oregon defensive tackle, and they're also meeting with, this is an interesting one, running back, but it kind of makes sense now because he's more of like a 4th or 5th round guy. Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt from Arizona, a good little running back from Arizona who I think is going to be a really good 3rd down back, a guy that can come in and be really effective. So what do you think of those two names? Top 30 visits for the Vikings.
I love it. I think this staff that we have with the Vikings has done a really good job of making sure to do all their due diligence and make sure they know exactly what's going on. Because it's like we've said plenty of times in the past, we have put ourselves in a great position to draft the best position available. Yeah. So, I mean, it's not necessarily a position that we absolutely need, but he's the best athlete out there. We think that he might be able to help us out in the future. And I think both these guys fill that role, especially Harmon. I think he can be a monster in the NFL, and it wouldn't hurt to have a 3rd defensive tackle come in this offseason, and especially with a guy like Harmon, who's going to be an absolute monster. He wreaks havoc in the pass game. Absolutely love his game. So I think I think that's mainly what the Vikings are doing here, just checking in, seeing what's he's about, what's his personality, does he mend with the team. And I think when we make our decision, it's gonna reflect that come April.
Yeah, and both Jonathan Allen and Javon Hargrave, the Vikings can get out of those contracts pretty easy after year 1 if they want to, and say one of those just have an injury-riddled season or something like that, or don't live up to the standard. If you have Harmon there, he can go right in and be an impact player right off the bat, and to just be able to learn from those guys as well that have been doing it for a long time. Would just be really key as well to just starting off your career really successfully. But again, going over to Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt, I think he's a perfect guy to throw in because he probably won't have to play much this year. But another part where maybe Aaron Jones, is continuing kind of his slow decline, and they can get out of the contract after 1 year. So then you got Jordan Mason and Krosky-Merritt. Like, I think those two could be a decent 1-2 punch as well. I think they'd add another one to the room on top of that. But two interesting names that I think fit the billing for what the Vikings are looking to do. And maybe we end up with one of them in this mock draft we're going to do. You ready for this thing?
Let's do it.
All right. Before we get into it, do want to shout out our sponsors one more time. That's Badass Wood Art, Stead Foods. If you're on YouTube, go in the description. Check those guys out. Again, appreciate it. You guys go over on YouTube. Subscribe to us over there, Vikings Central. We're continuing to try to grow over there. Would be greatly appreciated, honestly, guys. It just really means a lot if you're able to do that. I'm just looking up here real quick. I wanted to let everyone know kind of where we were with subscriber-wise. At 239, I think we've got like 60 subscribers the last like 28 days or something like that. So just help us continue to grow over there. Twitter, you guys always kill. Love you guys more than anything. The OGs over there. So let's get into this. Slug says if you draft Gray Zabel, Vikings would have top 2 O-line in the NFL. Hey, we did that in the mock draft 1.0. So we're kind of thinking the same way. We might go a little bit different here just to kind of explore the opportunities a little bit. But hey, I flat out agree with you 100%. All right. Let's see this thing. Share screen. All right. You see it? There we go.
Yep.
Okay. All right, so I'm going to be over on the other tab while we're kind of diddling with this, but we can stick and pick. I think tonight we're probably going to do it the way we would do it again, just because we're going to do it kind of quickly. Stick and pick. That's only 4 picks. It's not fun to do 4 picks, and I have a hard time believing that the Vikings are only going to have 4 picks at the end of this. So I think we just again look at the board. Maybe there's a guy that we really want, but if there's a handful of guys, we're going to trade down because I think that's what the Vikings are going to do at the end of the day. All right, you ready for this thing?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, pick 24. We'll go down. We'll sim down to our pick at 24. Then I'll kind of just show you guys how the board played out. Abdul Carter goes number 1. That's a little bit of a interesting one there.
I don't hate it. Hey, he's a monster.
For
He's
sure.
gonna be a game changer.
Do they still believe in Will Levis?
Will Levis, baby. Mayo boy.
Cam Ward goes number 2 to the Browns. The Browns would probably love that. Travis Hunter to the Giants. Surprised the Giants. Is Aaron Rodgers going to be your quarterback, or what's going on here? Ashton Jonty to the Raiders at 6. The Bears take a tackle, which is interesting. Malachi Starks to the Cowboys. Wow, Emeka, how do you say his last name? Agbuka?
Yeah.
Goes to the Bengals. Imagine that trio of wide receivers. And then Kenneth Grant. Oh, he almost fell to the Vikings there.
Yeah.
Which would have been, if he was there, I would have a really hard time trading down, but he's off the board. Just looking at the available players here, Luther Burden. Thor really likes him. Thor Nystrom really likes him. Derek Harmon, Darius Alexander, Walter Nolan, Marion Hampton, Gray Zabel still here. Just a lot of guys that are still on the board. My Nickamon Wari right there, man.
Yeah, we all know that he can be a big problem and he'd be a great help to us. So he'd be a great part of this defense. Yeah,
I'm surprised he's that low, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
because I for sure think he's going to be a first round pick, if not a top 20 pick. But let's look at these trades. Ooh, all the way back to 37, but 37 or 38. But we could honestly get a lot of capital if we move back that far. Let's see. What do the Patriots have? Oh, the Patriots might have a couple picks that I'm more interested than because they got the 38, the 69, and the 77.
Yeah, but Gronk says they're not giving up the 69th pick.
Oh, you know what, Gronk? We like 69 over here too. Oh gosh. All right. Let's see. Let's just would they give it? Oh yeah, 99% chance. How about the 77? Oh. You think they do the 38, the 69, the 77? What if I give them the 97? 54% chance.
Yeah.
Can I try throwing in a 217? Are you good with that, or should I
like it? I like it a lot.
Okay. Yeah, that's 3 picks in the top 77. And then we still, well, I guess we don't have the 9. Let's see something here. Can I get the 106? Oh, hell no. I'm getting a little weird here. Sorry, Austin.
No, you're good. No, and we got to see what we can get away with here.
I'm just trying to even it out a little bit. I mean, we can always trade back from another spot if we need to, if we want to fill it out. Okay, what did I do here? Is this what I did right here? No. Right there. Okay, so we're giving up the 24 and the 97. They're going to get the 38, or we're getting the 38, the 69, the 77. They're getting the 24 and the 97. You good with that?
Yep.
All right. What the? They didn't want to take it. How about if I give them the 187, they kick us back to 217? You still good with that?
Yeah.
Who's the new GM over there?
Yeah, they don't want anything to do with us. They're already pissed off that we gave him Bradbury.
I guess. Let's try this one. There we go. So we gave it the 24, the 97, the 187, and we got back to 38, the 69, the 77, and the 238.
Yeah.
Which I think is doable. We can live with that. All right. This is moving it down into territory that we're not really used to. 38 here. I think I saw Nick Amonwari go.
I did too.
Or where was he at? Oh, the Lions. Oh my gosh. Of course. I feel like every time I have a draft crush, they go to a rival. It's just the way it is.
Yeah, it's just how it's.
All right, looking at the board here. There's been talks that the Vikings really like Maxwell Harrison out of Kentucky. Siobhan Revel's another one coming off of injury, but a really good corner. We could always go Shadir Sanders. No. Tyleik Williams. I think him and JJ McCarthy have had some beef in the past. Xavier Watts is safety that I do like. 6 foot 203 is from Omaha. Very intelligent, but he's not the best tackler, so that's why I don't know if he'd fit Brian Flores's profile there. Where are you kind of leaning, Austin?
I like Shavion Revel out of Eastern Carolina.
Yep. I agree with you. Gosh, I don't want to be like Rick Spielman, or I don't want to be one of those guys, but for value, we could even probably trade down a couple more spots. Like, do we dare trade down to 42? Or do you think he's gone?
Why not? Let's do it.
All right. And I said this was going to be a quick mock, and now we're just trading every 30 seconds. Yeah, we're not getting the 73. How about the 110? Man, they think we can get more. I think that's definitely worth it if we get that.
Oh yeah, that'd be huge.
Down 4 spots and recoup the 110 and the 145. Hell yeah, if they take it.
Yeah.
GMs have been a little crabby tonight. No, they took it. All right. If Siobhan Revel's still there, we won this trade for sure.
Yeah.
Come on, buddy. Let's go. I think he's still there.
How about that?
Let's go. Is that our pick?
Yeah, I think that's our pick.
All right. If he didn't have the injury, he's like a top 20 pick, I think. Super, super, super good. Okay, going down to pick 69, like you said, Gronk's pick. We got to pick a good one here. I like how they say a running back is one of our big needs.
Yeah.
And now
that is interesting. And D-line.
Now that Dylan Sampson's there, that's good. I love him so much.
Yeah, he's a fun back for sure.
You can talk me into one of these other guys, but it's going to be hard to sway me away from Dylan Sampson. Just another playmaker in this offense. Man, JJ McCarthy would have weapons galore.
I'm fine with it, especially with how many picks we have coming.
All right, you good with
forward. I'm fine with it.
All right, and hey, that's pretty good value. Ranked 64th on the PFF board. We get him at 69. You're welcome, Gronk. And yeah, we got another pick at 77. So, all right, couple options here. We've talked about the tight ends before. I like Jordan Phillips out of Maryland. DJ Giddens is another. Obviously, we already took a running back, but I do really like DJ Giddens. But just looking at the board here a little bit, what do you see? I like Jalen Royals. He's a good wide receiver who I think could make an impact.
I like Wyatt Millum too out of West Virginia. I know tackle's not a huge need at the moment, but that's a guy I've been looking at.
For sure.
He's a big guy.
He did not allow a single sack.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like he'd fit what we're looking for. Yeah, just the tough thing is like.
Yeah, he doesn't meet a need really, but.
Yeah, we're in the 3rd round. I mean. I get where you're going with that pick for sure. If we didn't take Siobhan Revel, Benjamin Morrison.
Yeah, I agree. I think we took Benjamin Morrison in the last one, didn't we?
He would be, yeah, for sure, and he would be the easy pick here because that's great value as well.
I do like.
I might get hate for this, but I really like Mason Taylor. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean Mason Taylor. I like Mason Taylor. It just kind of we went with running back before. I
That's
feel like we're
true.
really gonna try. We would really try to nail a position of need here.
That's true. That's true. Fine.
Kevin Winston, I like too, out of Penn State. He was a big part of their defense.
Looks like he had a down year this last year, but before that, he was
Yeah,
fantastic. Looks like he's really good in the run defense. He just kind of struggled in coverage. But let's go Kevin Winston. I think Brian Flores could
yeah,
scheme it up a little bit and just have
yeah.
him
He was a guy that preseason was projected to be late round, first rounder, I believe. So
for sure.
he did have a down year, but I think that's something he can bounce back from, especially in our defense.
Yep, for sure. And it sounds like he had a little bit of a medical issue, which could have affected his year last year too. So let's do it. I'm good with that. Going down to 110 here. Yeah, we got 3 picks coming up in the next 35 picks from 110 to 145. So far, Siobhan Revel, Dylan Sampson, then Kevin Winston Jr. So I think we've filled some needs here. Ooh, I like CJ West out of Indiana.
Yeah.
Anais Peebles as well. 2 really good defensive interior guys, which I think would be both great here. Unless, is there any other names that are kind of catching your eye?
Kobe Bryant. I know
Yep.
he was supposed to be a lot better than he was, but
Yeah.
we don't really need to take on another project. I really don't mind here going defensive interior. CJ West, I like a lot.
Yep. That's kind of who I'm thinking too. I really like CJ West. A guy that I think he might take a year or two to develop a little bit, but
Yeah.
when you have Javon Hargrave, Harrison Phillips, and Jonathan Allen, you don't
Yeah.
need him to come in and be an impact from day one. He can still be rotational and make an impact, but I think down the road he can be a really good 3-down player.
Yeah, I agree. I think he, like you said, bringing in 2 veterans, it might be a good for him to maybe be behind them,
For
get a
sure.
few reps here and there, but I think he'll get fine polish and it'll make him better for the future.
No doubt. I grabbed him if that's all right.
Oh yeah, I was on the same page there.
Perfect. Siobhan Revel, Dylan Sampson, Kevin Winston Jr., CJ West. Depending on how the board falls, we could maybe look at offensive line here, maybe a wide receiver. There's Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt, but again, we kind of grabbed a running back already.
Yeah.
Sorry, dude. Billy Bowman would be on my board here. Luke Kandra is an interesting one. For value wise, I could honestly wait till 145 to get him.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm looking at this board. Where do we go? Elijah Huzzy, I like from North Carolina.
Yeah.
Quincy Riley.
I
Kyle
also like
Williams is a really good wide receiver from Washington State.
Tyler Batty out of BYU.
Edge guy. Okay.
I don't think an edge rush would be a bad idea to go with this pick, especially with how many picks we accumulated.
No doubt about it. 6'5", 275. And we're gonna need some depth there, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
You got Jonathan Grenard, you got Andrew Van Ginkel, you got Dallas Turner. But behind that, it's kind of somewhat unknown. We don't have Patrick Jones anymore.
Yeah.
Kind of work the edge a little bit. Yeah, I think I would have no problem going here. The value is right. Just add another toolsy edge guy for Brian Flores in that defensive line room. So let's do it. All right. We're now on pick 145. My pick here, you could tell me difference, is Luke Kandra. I think he could eventually be your left guard.
Yeah, and especially where we didn't take Zabrel in this mock draft. It's gonna be. I think it's important to bring in another guard. Even if probably gonna go with Brandel in this situation. It'd be nice to have him sit behind him. He's a big guy,
Yeah.
6'4", 323. I think he would be a good pickup here.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
We're filling out this roster, baby. I'm liking it. Let's speed this up a little bit. Or not. I feel like it's barely going any faster. But just to review everything, our first pick was pick 42. We gained some more picks from a trade back, but we got Siobhan Revel, who's I think can come in, be really damn good. Dylan Sampson, just a playmaker out of the backfield. Kevin Winston Jr. add into that safety room. CJ West add into that defensive interior room. Tyler Batty, just an athletic edge guy, big bodied guy who I think will eventually be a really damn good player. Luke Kandra, same thing where, yeah, he's just a big guard who I think can honestly be a really solid backup or be really a starter someday. So, okay, why is this not working? Froze on me for some reason.
Yeah, did we break it? We draft too good?
I don't know. 25 teams picking for you. Okay. Well, this will be sad. The flip. Maybe they're making me offer a trade. What the heck?
Yeah, this is the weirdest thing.
I might just have to offer a trade.
Maybe it doesn't let us have this many draft picks.
What if I trade the 238, throw in a 2026 6-rounder for the 213?
We're not too worried about next year's draft in this mock draft.
Not going to let me do it. What the heck? I wanted to see our grade. Well, anyway, if you're looking on here, the mock simulator broke on us. Got Siobhan Revel, Dylan Sampson, Kevin Winston Jr., CJ West, Tyler Batty, and Luke Kandra. We were just killing the draft, so they just didn't want to. They didn't want us to get away with the heist more than anything.
Yeah, they were worried that we would take Quasey's job, so they had to break in the Pro Football Focus and stop the mock draft room.
No doubt. Honestly, though. What if I slow the speed? Not do anything. Nope. What the heck?
Do we just have to give up the trade? Do we maybe trade the pick for a future pick? Maybe we have too many picks. I don't know.
Let's try. You won't. Yeah, won't you let me do that? Like, I could give up the 238 for a 2027 7th rounder. It won't even let me do it.
Huh.
Well, trade accepted. Oh, maybe you were right for some reason.
I tend to have that problem.
The heck? Oh, it's freezing again.
I don't know if that wasn't the case.
I'm not offering another trade. Come on now. Well, I think we broke it.
Yeah, we might be SOL here.
Yeah, because if I do that, yeah, it's just going to kick me back to the beginning. Oh, well. But I feel like, hey, we were having a pretty solid.
I was pretty happy with that draft.
Yeah, so good that we broke the PFF mock simulator, which.
And no one's in the chat yelling at us that we did terrible. So I mean, we have to be right.
It
had to have been a good draft.
Exactly, we'll take it. Well, me and Austin were talking. We're gonna do that kind of a competition here next time around. I don't know when we're gonna get to it. Hopefully in the next couple days or so. But I'm gonna do a mock draft. He's gonna do a mock draft, and we just want your opinion. Who mocked better? Who's the better GM?
Yeah, so it'll be me. So I don't want to hurt Brett's feelings, but
the new Quasey over here is gonna kick my butt. But no, that should be some fun. And then next week again, I'll pull this back up. Where's my right one? There we go. $10 mock draft week. We're gonna mock the heck out of the next week or so, 10 days. If you guys want in, join us live on stream and lead us in a mock draft for the Vikings. Play GM for the time being. All the profits will go to the JJ for the Kids Foundation. Got 3 people signed up. I just actually had another DM from one of you guys that I need to look into, but we're flexible, so we can make any time work for the most part, and just have some fun with you guys and see who you guys want on the Minnesota Vikings. So again, DM us for more info over on Viking Central at Vike Central on X, on the Twitter machine, and we'll get you guys going. But Austin, good job. I give it an A+, even though PFF didn't want to grade us. I give us an A+.
Yeah, it's definitely an A+.
Yeah, no doubt about it. No bias at all for us, but A+ sounds like a good grade. But it does look like St. John's is kind of pulling away a little bit here, up 21. So
yeah, that's what I was getting. Hopefully they can roll that into and beat John Calipari.
Heck yeah. No doubt about it. Michigan and Texas Tech games are pretty good so far, though. I might have to hop upstairs and watch those, but they're going to go to like damn near midnight. But hey, it is what it is. It's March Madness, baby.
Yeah, got to be a part of the madness.
That's right. All right, we will see you guys on the next one. Thanks for tuning in on 945 of you. Just wanted to update you guys, do a mock draft, even though it didn't get all the way through. Again, if you're interested in doing that $10 mock draft week, just DM us. $10 is all it is. Straight to the JJ. What was it called again? JJ for the Kids Foundation. And kind of go from there. All right. If there's any breaking news, which I don't know if there will be, Free 3 said, why do they have all that cap space? You never know what'll happen. So you could be seeing us sometime soon. But other than that, we'll get back on, do another mock, and I'm sure update you on anything Vikings. So, Austin, it's been real, man.
Yep. See ya.
Viking Central, God bless. See you guys in the next one.